am Alethea Felton, and welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast. If you're struggling in your life with self-sabotaging and negative thoughts that leave you feeling stuck and limit you from moving forward, I can help you. As a holistic health and empowerment coach, I help people identify, challenge, and conquer those thoughts in order to make simple and practical changes to improve overall wellness. Let's remove those limitations, for the time is now to create your power transformation. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. I am wellness coach Alethea Felton, and I am thrilled to have you here today. And you know what we're going to do today, y'all? We're going to jump right into this episode because I think with the hustle and bustle of everything, it's what's needed. I'll do a bit more housekeeping at the next episode. So for right now, let's just go ahead and jump into this because it will help you tremendously. If you're new to our podcast, I say an affirmation to empower us and to speak things into existence as if they already are. It will transform your life. I'll say it once and then you repeat it. I make time to be still so that I value moments of silence. So, what am I talking about? I am talking about just that, y'all. Silence, stillness. That's what I'm talking about. And did you know that there is truly healing power in silence? There are so many benefits in silence. And you may wonder, Coach Alethea, what in the world has you led to talk about silence? In part, it's from my own experience because this is something that I've gone through and I still take moments to just embrace silence. But it's also because this is summertime when I'm doing this episode, but no matter when you hear it, we are in a fast-paced world. In fact, it is a scientific fact that even the Earth itself, planet Earth, is even spinning at a faster rate than it has before. We are in a microwave popcorn society, in that our society says everything we should have is here now, quick, fast, keeping up with everybody else, doing things for social media, keeping up at high speed and not truly taking time to be still. Even when, real talk, even when people post on social media, those times of solitude and tranquility, and I've done it myself, not often, but I have done it where I might show different ponds or lakes or trees or beaches where I am. But even with that, it takes away from the true essence of being still and enjoying the silence. So, what do I mean exactly by silence? What does silence mean? What does it look like? And silence, in a very simple term, is the complete absence of sound. Now, granted, if you're camping out in the woods, of course, you'll hear the sound of crickets chirping or locusts or, nighttime critters, animals. But what I mean is, if you were to take away all of the sounds on the television or computers or laptops, or take away your phone where you have music playing or things of that nature. Think about honestly, when is the last time you have been intentional about being silent, of sitting in silence and of being still, of having tranquility, of having quietness, of being by yourself in that silence? Was it earlier today? And I'm not even talking about just when you're asleep, because in fact, there are some people that sleep with the television on. If they do, hey, that's on them. As a wellness coach, that's not an effective practice, and I do advise against it. But my point is, are you comfortable being with yourself and being with your thoughts of solitude, stillness, and silence? In this episode, I encourage you to do so. Just my own story. Part of my transformation of who I am now versus who I was, say, pre-pandemic, I was one who was always on the go, 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 go. It was hard for me to just be still. It was hard for me to just be with myself and enjoy silence. I was always the type active, involved in a lot of different organizations, from church, sorority, work, family functions, just everything, right? And still made time for my friends, still having time for a dating life, just all of that, just really, really on the go, go, go. Now, what I had to learn in order to really get me to where I am, the pandemic slowed me down just like it slowed a lot of us down, and it shifted our life. Now, granted, for most of the pandemic, I was in a relationship, and I still spent time with my very close family and things of that nature, but a lot of things were taken off of the table. So these activities that I was a part of, these organizations that I spent so much time in, those are all stripped away, and I was working virtually. So I had no choice but to be by myself. But even prior to the pandemic, in years past, when I was very sick and was in and out of the hospital, I had so much solitude, either on bed rest or in the hospitals, not knowing that I would experience a pandemic that would lead to the world being still. But ever since the world has opened back up again, I still find that I am intentional about being silent, about being silent. And I want to share with you 4 health benefits or 4 healing powers of silence, and why it is important to get comfortable with silence and with being with yourself to help contribute to your transformation. The first thing that silence does, when you are silent, it, number one, reduces stress, which can lower your blood pressure and heart rate and can lead to more improved sleep. Do you feel that you don't get enough sleep, that you could use an extra half hour, hour? Are you finding that you get tired during the day? Do you find that there are not enough hours in the day to get you to where you want to go or get you to do what you want to do? Well, if that's the case, just taking time in your day, even as little as 15 minutes a day, to just be in a room by yourself, to be still and to be silent, away from your phones, away from anything that will distract you, and just being with yourself, that can lead to your blood pressure and your heart rate slowing down, so that you can have more peace. And when you take time for those moments of silence in your day, you will have sounder sleep. Your mind will be more at rest. And then when you wake in the morning, you will have much more energy and you won't be as consumed with the daily stressors of life. Now, when I say lower blood pressure, that's one blessing I can say. I've never had high blood pressure. In fact, I have the opposite, low. But what I'm trying to say is, even if you're healthy, even if you work out, eat right, exercise in the gym all of the time, you can still have stress that can lead to some detrimental health problems. So this is a one size fits all approach when talking about your health. So being silent, staying with yourself removes distractions. You can remove yourself from your surroundings to truly reflect upon you without any outside distractions. So again, number one, being silent reduces your stress, which can lower blood pressure and your heart rate and can lead to more improved sleep. And all of these facts I'm giving you are research based, okay? Number two, the second healing power of silence is it increases mindfulness and self-awareness, which influences better decision making. I'm going to say it again. It increases mindfulness and self-awareness, which can influence better or more effective decision making. When you are silent, that silence gives you time to really reflect on your thinking, to reflect on what has happened, not just in that day, but also in your life. Now, this is what I will say because I am sensitive to it. One of you or more may be listening and say, Alethea, I really respect what you have to say, and I generally like your podcast, but I just am not comfortable being silent. It's too much for me. It's too torturous being in the silence and thinking about things that I don't want to think about. Well, this is what I will say to you. Part of the beauty of sitting in silence, even if you have thoughts that are not the best, is the longer you do it, the more you can shift, channel, and control your thoughts in the way that are best for you. So with mindfulness and self-awareness, mindfulness, I would encourage you to inwardly, as you are in that silence, think about certain affirmations or positive thoughts during that time. You can also pray during that time. You can meditate or do deep breathing techniques. Mindfulness deep breathing techniques are very, very powerful. And as a matter of fact, there is a prior episode of the Power Transformation podcast that I would recommend you to listen to. And I'm going to have her back soon again as a guest, but it's episode 12, The Myths of Mindfulness with Angela Norwood. That episode can actually give you mindfulness techniques that you can do in silence, because that will help a person who struggles with their thoughts because their thoughts may not be the best. So when you do those mindfulness techniques, you do start to become more aware of you, your good habits and your bad habits, and you can make clearer decisions instead of being hasty. Have you ever met people who, and I'm using it from a relationship aspect, but they jump from person to person to person. Like even after a breakup, they take no time to just be with themselves, but they immediately get with someone else without healing. Well, when you're in silence and you make room for self-awareness, you can even then make a better decision as to who or what you want out of your next relationship. Or maybe you're already married, you don't need anybody, or you're choosing to be single right now. We can also shift it. You may be given what seems to be a great opportunity, or rather, presented a great opportunity. And everything looks great. And your instinct would say, yes, I'll take this opportunity. But at the end of the day, when you're in silence, you say, no, this isn't the right fit for me. That's what being silent can do. It can cause you to have better decision making. So, number 3, and I'm going to give 4 of them. The third healing power of silence is it boosts your immune system. There is scientific proof that being in silence and being still contributes to healing properties for sickness and disease or dis-ease. It boosts your immune system. Now, I am not a medical doctor. I am a certified wellness coach, certified holistic wellness coach at that. And I say that because I emphasize in mind, body, and spirit. But what I do know from my training, as well as research and my own life experience, is that being silent and being still combined together increases certain chemicals and hormones and whatnot in your body that can lead to healing and long-term healing. Even if you live with a chronic condition, being still and being silent still has healing properties. Now, I'm not saying you will be cured. I'm not giving you medical advice. But what I am saying is that it boosts your immune system so that you can heal more effectively. That's why even if you have something like a common cold, it is advised that you rest, that you are still, that you don't have a lot of company or people to talk to. And while you might have television, it's even beneficial if you cut it off, or if you shut down your laptop or get off of your phone to just simply be. Because your immune system is going to heal. Our bodies, y'all, we have so many innate healing properties within ourselves. It can be a controversial topic, I know, because of the fact our pharmaceutical companies and health industry really emphasize a lot of medications. And I'm not against medication, so don't say that. I am not anti-medication. But what I am saying is we have so many healing properties within ourselves by certain natural remedies we can do, even if it's as simple as just being still and being silent. Yes, following what your doctor says, but just being still boosts your immune system. It actually can increase cortisol also. And cortisol does go hand in hand with mental stress. And I talked about stress earlier. But what happens is the less stress you have, the more your physical body rejuvenates, because it also helps your brain growth. And what we think is what we become. The power of our thoughts and the power of our mind can change everything that happens in our life. Even if you are living with a certain condition, the way that you think about it, the way that you handle it day by day can transform your life. So I've been very open and candid that, yes, there are certain conditions I'm diagnosed with that are not contagious, nothing like that. But the way that my symptoms are at this point right now, my doctors have even said it's based a lot on how I think and how I have been intentional about shifting my thoughts and been intentional about, yes, I might be diagnosed with X, Y, and Z, but it doesn't have to be my identity. So that's the third, is that it boosts your immune system. And the fourth and final healing power of silence that I will share with you today is silence increases creativity and thought productivity. Say it again. It increases creativity and thought productivity. There are different projects that I'm working on, things that I'm doing behind the scenes. And while I'm a music lover and while I like to listen to other things at times when I work, I find that I am most productive when I'm silent. I get more thoughts, I get more ideas. It's as if my creative switch turns on like never before. And in fact, it is proven that when you are in silence, because you are connecting with yourself, it allows you to reflect on new ideas without being distracted. And in fact, daydreaming, when we are in silence and we tend to like drift off and daydream, is that it leads to more ideas, which will then cause us to be more inclined to produce. So even if you're at work, and say your job is just really high pressure, high stress, even if you're at work, take time, if you truly can, if it's in a break room or in your car during your lunch break or somewhere, and just be silent and still. Because what it does is there are data out there that show that having silence even during your workday leads to increased productivity levels. And something else, if you aren't working or you are retired, it can still, having the breaks where you have silence, is that your thoughts and your ideas blossom. So therefore, if there's something that you wanted to do, if it's a book you wanted to write, if it's a song you wanted to compose, if it's a quilt you wanted to make, it can be anything. Your ideas are enhanced when you're silent. And that heals you in that emotional area. It heals you because emotionally you're able to express and to get out what it is you want to share with your loved ones, with your world, or with the world, or even if it's something that you want to do for yourself. That's why I try to encourage people, you're never too old to really live out your dreams and to pursue what you want to. It may be tougher. You may think, I don't have time, but in fact, you really do. You do. You make time for what's important to you. And so therefore, I encourage you to take these healing powers of silence and apply them to your life. Take moments throughout your day in the hustle and bustle of it all to be still and silent and just watch how things come together with more clarity. You'll have much more peace. And y'all, you can do this if you're a man, a woman, young, older, it doesn't matter. You can do this because you are worth the silence. You are worth having your stress decreased. You are worth being in tune with yourself through your self-awareness. You are worthy of having a healthy immune system, and you are definitely worth sharing your creativity and your ideas with this world. Make time, y'all. Make time. Let's end and close out with our affirmation. I'll say it, and then you repeat it. I make time to be still so that I value moments of silence. If you enjoyed today's show, then you don't want to miss an episode. So follow the Power Transformation Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen, and remember to rate and review. I also invite you to connect with me on social media at Alethea Felton. That's at ALETHEAFELTON. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself and to others.